Yeah. Hi, students. I am Dr. Badrinath. In this video, we will see the very important topic, that is the bioequivalence studies. Bio, within the body. Equivalence. Two drugs must be equal within the body. One drug is having a bioavailability. Suppose say here, this drug bioavailability, it must be equal with the bioavailability of this drug. So if both are equal in bioavailability terms, okay, then you can say it is the both drugs are bioequivalent. Like that we can use it. So okay, and in this bioequivalence studies, keep in your mind the pharmacist has to become a judge. Yeah, you have to become a judge and you have to give a justification for that. Either true, you have to measure it accurately. Accurately, you have to measure either both are equal or not. If is there any difference, if is there any difference, that's all, case gone. Entire batch, those patients which are consumed the entire batch, it is not effective, not therapeutically effective. Okay, the therapy may be failure. Okay, that's why justification, judgment is very important. The pharmacist has to become a judge here. Bioequivalent of a two drugs we are comparing. We will see all the definitions. What is bio? That is body. What is the equivalence? Right from the equivalence, we will start all the basic things, right? And the topics we will cover the concept of equivalence. First, that is very important. If you know the concept of equivalence, automatically you came to know what will be the remaining bioequivalence and all. Pharmaceutical equivalence, pharmaceutical alternative. See the term, it vary. Alternative, therapeutic equivalence, therapeutically equivalent. Test sample, standard sample. What is objectives, goals, applications, need of the bioequivalence studies, importance and uses. All these topics we will cover. In the next video, we will see the bioequivalence study design and protocol. That will be there in the next coming up videos. Okay, in this video, we will completely basics of the bioequivalence and see the proper equivalence term. Equal is equal to equal. Not in all the aspects. If is there any particular character of one person, it matches with the particular character of another person, then you can use it equal. Need not to be equal in all the terms. Need not to be equal. Okay. Here I compared the Chief Bezos with the Microsoft. His property, Chief Bezos' property is almost equal to the Bill Gates. He is a founder of the Microsoft and he is the founder of the Amazon. So that we can say both are property equivalent persons. Habits may be different, names may be different, gender structure, body structure may be completely different, area may be whatever it may be. We are not at all bothering about that. In which term both are equal, that only we are taking, that point only we are considering. So property wise both are equivalent, that's it. So that's why we are using a both equivalence property. So property equivalence persons, like that. So these basic examples are very important. These two are, they may be different in their property. This person Anam property may be different with the Fernandez property. We are not bothering about that. Here both are genetically equal. He both are looks like, they both are the twins. So physically equivalent persons, like that we can call. See, in disease condition it may be vary, property may be vary, habits may be vary. We are not at all bothering. Here only one point is matching. What is that? Genetically equivalent, physically equivalent, like that. Both are looks like same, like that. Here, see, both are different completely, but in one point particularly they matched. That is in the social service. Social service equivalent persons. That's it. Mother Teresa equal to Florence Nightingale. She is also social service. They are really hats off to them. Devotional equivalence person. Devotionally, both are equal. There may be change in another properties. We are not at all worrying about Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Ramana Maharshi, so that we can take all the like examples and all. Now we come to the pharmaceutical examples, like introduction. What is the equivalence? Equivalence means comparison. Okay, two students may be equally talented, but they may be different in their properties, in their habits, whatever it may be. talented, equally talented, maybe in the education. Okay, like that. We cannot say the thing. Equivalence means comparing term. There must be two. One, you are comparing with another one. If only one is there, we cannot compare with the thing. So, comparative term. One drug product is similar to another in respect to, see, different characters are there, just like a human being, like a property, habits, physical structure, like many things. Here also, drug property, two drugs may be similar in their chemical structure, chemically equivalent. Two drugs may be, say, specific character, equal in their solubility property, solubility equivalent to drugs. Two drugs may be having the same therapeutic action, both are painkillers, therapeutically equivalent, and defined a set of some standards. Okay, like that. Number of things are there. That point where the specific term in that it matches, then you make it as a equal. That's it. Nobody will object you. Pharmaceutical equivalence. What is this term? Very, very important term. Pharmaceutically equal. What is the meaning of the same active drug must be there? First point. See here, I used the example. Same active drug. See here, chlordiazepoxide, chlordiazepoxide. Here also, both matched exactly. Active drug. Okay. Same salt form must be same. Salt form or ester form or chemical form. See here, chlordiazepoxide, HCl. This is the hydrochloride form. That is a salt form. So here also see hydrochloride only here all. Okay, so name is matched, salt form is matched, either ester form or chemical form, whatever it may be, it matched. Same dosage form. See here, it is a capsules. Here also capsules. Both are capsules. So all these must be matched. Then only we can say it is a thing like that. Okay, and see identical strength or concentration. See, strength is equal. See here, it consists of a 5 mg. See here, each capsule consists of a 5 mg. Here also 5 mg. Keep in your mind. Both are, see, identical. Strength is also matched. Concentration or route of administration. This is capsule, oral capsule. This is also oral. So oral administered. But they may be differ in their shape, color of the capsule, shape of the capsule, size of the capsule, packing of the capsule, even excipients, what you are using to fill the capsule, it may be vary. We are not at all bothering about that. It may be vary. For example, chlordiazepoxide, hydrochloride, 5 mg capsules, both. Like that, you can fix this image in your mind. Example, you have to write in the examination, right? And pharmaceutical alternative, it is somewhat different than that of the thing. Alternative, these alter same therapeutic moiety. See here, diclofenac, here also diclofenac, therapeutic drug molecule is same, but different in their salt form or ester form or complex form. See here, diclofenac sodium, diclofenac potassium, here both are equal. That means that in terms of alternative, if in the medical shop, if suppose diclofenac sodium is not there, you can give pharmaceutical equivalent, that is diclofenac potassium, you can give, no problem with that. But these two things we cannot call it as a pharmaceutical equivalent. These are called as a pharmaceutical alternative. See, sodium is altered by potassium. Next is difference in their dosage form. See here, another tetracycline 250 mg capsules. Here, tetracycline phosphate. Here also difference, salt form is different. Here hydrochloride salt form, here phosphate form is there. So 250 mg capsule, here also 250 mg capsule, no problem. Different dosage form. See here tablets. Here capsules. Both are quinidine sulfate only. Quinidine sulfate 200. Different in their strength, different in their dosage form, whatever it may be. These are called as a pharmaceutical alternatives. Next, bioequivalence. Why we are using this term bioequivalence? Same drug must be same dose also must be same. Mainly bioavailability must be same. We know that bioavailability is nothing but a rate of absorption and extent of the absorption. Both are collectively called as a, that is indicated by the, see, a rate of absorption can be indicated by the Tmax. Extent of the absorption is indicated by the AUC, area under the curve. If one drug having a Tmax and AUC, it is matched with the another drug Tmax and AUC that is in the body, because we are constructing all the curves by giving the tablets to the patients, and we are collecting the blood samples. We have to construct a AUC time versus plot, that is graph, and everything you have to do, right? And you have to match it, Tmax and AUC. If it is matched, then only you can say bioequivalence. Bioequivalence studies to identify the bioequivalent products is called as a bioequivalence studies. Okay. Next, therapeutic equivalence. Same clinical effect. See, the drug moiety may be different here. We cannot call therapeutic equivalence. Therapeutically, same safety. Safety must be there. Therapeutic action must be same. That's it. See, for example, propoxyphenone, propoxyphene hydrochloride versus pentazocine hydrochloride. Here, drug is different, but both are using for the painkiller only. Like that, all these examples are very, very important. Yeah. Now you can see the puzzle point here. All pharmaceutical equivalents, in generally, not in all the cases, most probably 99% of pharmaceutical equivalents are, chances are there, bioequivalent product, and pharmaceutical equivalent are 99% therapeutically equivalent. Pharmaceutical alternatives may be most of the drugs bioequivalent, but they may not be therapeutically equivalent. This is the puzzle. Okay. Yeah, now you come to the basic terminology. What is a chemical name? What is a generic name? It was really confusion for students. But here we will take the crystal clear example and we will explain you what is the chemical name. Chemical name is what scientists usually call it as acetyl salicylic acid. That is called the name of the chemical structure of the drug is called as a chemical name. For example, acetyl salicylic acid, or IUPAC name also you can call it as a chemical name. Okay, IUPAC name. Generic name is aspirin. Chemical name is acetyl salicylic acid. Generic name is the aspirin. It is nothing but name of the active drug. It is also called as a common name. It is called as a generic name. It is called as a non-proprietary name. All these are similar important. Common name, generic name, non-proprietary name. Example is aspirin. Brand name is nothing but a trade name. It is also called as a proprietary name. See the names: generic, brand, trade, it is a untrade. Here non-proprietary, here proprietary. Proprietary name, name of the drug given by the manufacturer. Disprin. See, this is the name, brand name. Aspirin, drug name. Acetyl salicylic acid, chemical name. Drug product, it is nothing but finished dosage form. Here finished dosage form is a tablet. That's why you can call it as a dosage. What is the, always when bioequivalence studies, there is a two terms will come regularly: standard sample, test sample. What is a standard sample? What is a test sample? See, standard sample is always called as a reference sample. This is a standard branded product first entered into the market. First, that's why the star, see goggles are there, like that. Okay, and this is a generic product, only lipstick is there only, that's it. Here everything, it was a star. It is very attractive than this. Reference sample, we have to refer with this. Our product which is prepared in our pharmaceutical company has to be matched with the standard sample. This is called as a test sample. Reference sample, also called as innovator's product, all are same. Innovator product, reference sample, which is successfully proven and successfully marketed, accepted by the medical profession, generally high bioavailability form, in generally, not in all the cases. Test sample, same active ingredient as that of the innovator product. Pharmaceutically equivalent. Pharmaceutical, that is very important. I already told what is pharmaceutical equivalent. Not proven yet successfully. Same procedure for manufacturing we are using. Same instructions and almost same indications. That is the whose drug. That is called a test sample, standard sample. Now we will see what are these bioequivalence studies, goals, object, all are same only. Objectives, goals, in the exam they may be used different terms. Objectives of the bioequivalence studies, goals of the bioequivalence studies, what is the importance of or what is the need of bioequivalence studies, what are the applications of bioequivalence studies, what are the uses, almost all same. There is no much differences. You can write the same thing. Mainly number of important things are there, really very, very important, all these bioequivalence studies. First one is, see here, development of a new drug molecules, very important. Whenever you are doing a research and doing a new drug molecule, you are identifying in the stage of new drug application, NDA, you must do some clinical trials. In such a state, you have to give to the patient and you have to see what is the bioavailability. Compulsory, you have to do. That's it. Okay. In such a cases, completely new drug molecules and generic products, development of a generic products, it is important. When a patent innovators get expired, that is branded, this patent is get expired within a 20 years, then by the time you have to develop one generic product which is at a cheaper rate, not much doing a research, only bioequivalence studies required, that's it. No animal studies, no clinical studies, no preclinical studies, nothing. Okay. At a cheaper economical rate you have to, this is also very, very important. Why bioequivalence studies? First one is development of a new drug molecules. Okay. Number two, development of a generic drug products also. Generic drug product is not a new. Okay, this is new. This is not new. Okay, but product is new here. That's it. Here, see where the bioequivalence studies will come. This is a branded one and this is a generic drug. This is as per the NDA requirement, new drug application. This is abbreviated new drug application. Chemistry, both we are observing. What is the main difference also we can see here. So by the time manufacturing controls will be same, labeling also same, because storage condition, everything, etc., etc. What are the indications? Because both having a same dose, same drug, no. So both testing also we have to perform the quality control test. Here also here also we are confirmed. Here we are doing animal studies. Here we are not doing. That's why a lot of time will be saved for generic drugs. That's why they are cheaper. No animal, no efficacy studies, no safety studies required for generic products. Only see, even clinical human trials also not required. For example, say human studies, clinical studies, safety not required, efficacy not required for generic products. Okay, pharmacokinetic studies like absorption, distribution, what is the rate, ADMA not required here. For new drug only it requires. And pharmacodynamic studies, what is the therapeutic action? Either it is a proven in the patients or not. You have to prove if it is a branded drug. For generic drug products, not required. What only the required is the bioequivalence studies. Cmax of this, Cmax and Tmax of this drug should be matched with the Cmax and Tmax of this drug. That is number one. AUC of this drug must be matched with the AUC of this drug. Only two things. Automatically you can prepare, start manufacturing of a drugs, and you can compress it, and both you can show it is a match. You apply to the government CDSCO and you can be get approval and you can start marketing. Only two terms are there. No efficacy studies, no clinical studies, no safety, nothing. Only bioequivalence studies only required. Here bioavailability studies only. So it is important for both bioequivalence studies. And where one more importance is to know the intersubject variability. See, person to person, there may be variability because of a genetical difference or racial difference may be there. These studies, if you want to know the drug, what is show the effect in this person, same drug may show the different effect in this lady. It may be vary. If you want to know this, bioequivalence studies required again. See, intersubject variability, variability within the person. Within this person also variability. See, if you are giving a drug to this man in 2021, okay, it's showing effect. After 5 hours, there may be change to the same person, same drug. It may show a difference. Definitely, that is called a intersubject variability. Intrasubject variability means that is variability between the person to person. Okay, next. To know the influence of the change in the manufacturing process. See, if you are change in the manufacturing process, you may get some different product. First, you started manufacturing and you did a bioavailability study. Later, what you did is you did some changes in the manufacturing section. For example, say wet granulation technique, you modified with the direct compression technique because number of work steps are very less in direct compression. Nearly you can escape the 5 important steps. Okay, but is there a bioequivalence? Again, you have to prove. If you are doing any changes in your manufacturing, you have to, again, you have to do the bioequivalence. Your first product must be, after changing the next tablet what came, both you have to be match it again, bioequivalent. Okay, simply not changing the manufacturing is not enough. Next is to find out the influence of excipient, change in the excipient. See, this is a tablet I am preparing with the help of polymer. This is a polymer, synthetically polymer. Now what I will do, some green polymer came from the nature directly. So instead of using this polymer, I used this polymer. So what happened? Bioequivalence of tablet which used this polymer must be equal with the bioequivalence, bioavailability of the tablet which used this polymer. Both it should be matched. Then only you can say this polymer is also good. Okay, having the same equal bioavailability like that. Okay. Next is change to one dosage form to another dosage form. One product you are changing into another product. See, for example, minoxidil injection is there, which is widely using for the baldness. See here, minoxidil injection 0.2%, 5%. Okay, but it is very difficult to take injection. No. Now what I want to do, I will make into a solution, minoxidil solution directly you can apply. Then bioequivalence studies are required again here in this cancer. If you want to change the dosage form, here injections we converted into lotion. So it is very popular in Reddy's lab. This is a Mintop solution, very popular. It is see here, Dr. Reddy's laboratory, minoxidil. It is also anti-diabetic also actually. Manufacturing of new product by another manufacturing. See here, Dolo 650, very popular brand, Microlab. Always Microlab, Dolo 650. What about the remaining companies? They have to come up, no? They have to come up with their product and they have to compare the bioequivalence studies. So this bioequivalence studies, it is a chance for coming up or newcomers which are entered into the pharmaceutical industry. Always dominating by only the popular companies is not the limit. No, we cannot do such type of thing. If you see here, this is one more product, Pandal came. It is also proven bioequivalence with that of the Dolo 650 at cheaper rate like that. Okay. Next is to ensure the clinical performance. See, you have prepared a tablet, okay, disintegration, okay, dissolution, okay, but what about clinically? When the patient is taken a tablet, either it is really working or not. How to prove it? Definitely, you have to prove with the help of bioequivalence studies, bioavailability studies. You have to prove that Cmax is there, Tmax is there, AUC is there, drug is excreted, like that. You can prove it with the help of bioequivalence studies. To prove that there will not be any risk of the therapeutic failure, no risk of the therapeutic failure. That is also, in order to prove all these things, definitely you require the thing. Next is very important. Last one, post approval changes. After getting the approval, see, you have prepared this tablet, your company, successfully you got FDA approved, this brand. FDA also told, hey, your company is excellent. You have prepared a very good tablets, excellent tablet. I am giving approval. Okay. Later, what happened? Now you want to change the one polymer, one excipients, new excipients. Then what you have to do? What is the question mark? This is very cheaper rate. So this new excipients, you can reduce your price by the half nearly. 10 rupees tablet, you can reduce to 5 rupees, 4 rupees. In such a cases, already you have approval for old excipient tablet. Now new excipient came. You changed the new excipient. What you have to do means bioequivalence studies. This one and that one, both you have to match it. So even though you changed the new excipient, major excipient, both are bioequivalent. Then again, FDA will give again approval for that. Okay, these are the logics what you have to keep in your mind. So I will end my session here, and all my videos are there in my playlist, channel playlist, that you can be watch it. Playlist subject wise, it is available.